I think long term, this is just going to have them going huge for where they're currently sitting. Hey guys, welcome to Dream Coin, where we show you how to invest for a better tomorrow. My name's Tyler, and today we're going to be doing an update on Ideanomics, a company that I've been high on for a while. If you look back at the past while for my videos on my channel, I am going to be bringing you today two big updates for different acquisitions and mergers that they've just announced within the last few days, and then also where my updated price target is for them, because it's going to be huge, specifically 5 times higher than I originally had a price target on them. So the first acquisition we're going to be looking into is US Hybrid, which Ideanomics had a definitive agreement back in May to acquire US Hybrid. They've finalized that and they've gotten through to where they own 100% of US Hybrid now. And alongside this, they're going to be utilizing a partnership that US Hybrid had with Global Environment Products, where they're going to be looking to expand some all-electric street sweepers throughout the United States into a bunch of different major cities, and then obviously expand more across the globe as we look more towards the future. This is also going to help bolster their portfolio of already a bunch of strong assets for them in both the electric vehicle and sustainability industry movement that has been going forward across the globe as of recently. If you're unfamiliar with US Hybrid, they generally help work with maintaining technology for commercial vehicles and helps to develop hydrogen fuel cells and different things for batteries and motors inside of different types of vehicles like buses and things that require a lot more power. And this allows for a significant reduction in carbon emissions from these commercial vehicles, and also allows for a lot more efficiency in energy usage as they implement their technology in a lot of different commercial settings. The next major acquisition that Ideanomics announced today, June 14th, is that they came across bringing in Solectrac into their portfolio of assets, which is a California-based manufacturer that specializes in the development of electric vehicles, specifically as tractors, for the use of farming and landscaping and different things that would go along in those settings. This obviously is huge because farming is a major industry in not only the United States, but around the world. And what Solectrac has done is set themselves up to be one of the main people to enter the space in a more sustainable environment for farmers, so that they're not having as much damage with the environment from carbon emissions, or have to worry about paying for a bunch of gas to run their vehicles or anything, where they can just charge it at their house or a different station to actually get this energy output for maintaining their land. Not only that, but it's also a market that is very limited in competition due to the fact that there's not a lot of people that have been developing sustainable and electric options for farmers specifically. So this is going to help in the agriculture sector, both for Solectrac and Ideanomics as a whole. And I think Ideanomics acquiring them is big for Solectrac as a subsidiary, essentially, because they will be able to have more of a backing to produce their products and develop on what they're already working on, which is very nice for the future of the company. One of the last most significant pieces of news that Ideanomics has had come out for them recently is that they're going to be added to the Russell 3000 index. This is set to happen around after market open on June 28th. And what this does is allows for a lot more sight of institutional investors to give an eye to the company. A lot of institutional investors will pay attention to this because Ideanomics being listed on the Russell 3000 index, which will stay for at least a year, allows them to be either added to the large cap Russell 1000 index or also the small cap Russell 2000 index, which allows for further addition to either growth or value style indexes that provide for a lot of movement for them in the future, with them allowed to be placed in a lot more significant ETFs or just different institutional holdings that people can invest into as like mutual funds and different things of those aspects. And I think especially in the EV industry with what they're doing, this is going to be very good for them long term, not only because this gives them a lot more attention from bigger investors, but it also can set them up for long-term growth. And then obviously if they're successful on this index over the next year, this could stay in place or get them listed in other different exchanges and possible different areas for setting them up for future success. As we look at the chart for long-term growth of IDEX, as I've done before in previous videos, their peak was around $5.50 back in February, and since then they've kind of done a decline and then consolidated around this $2 to $3 region, and they've been slowly reversing back up over the last month or so, and this sets them up for a possible climb, especially with their newest acquisitions. I think this is also one of those stocks that you kind of just buy and forget for long term. I think this is going to be one of those ones that grows significantly over the next couple years based on what they're acquiring, what they're moving into, how they're setting themselves up to be front runners in the sustainability industry, considering their different acquisitions in things like Solectrac and Energica and US Hybrid. And so they're not only going into commercial vehicles, but they're also going into individual consumer friendly products as well. So this is not only just like a large global scale, but it's more localized as well based on who they're trying to cater to with their different assets. And I think long term, this is just going to have them going huge for where they're currently sitting. As you can see in the chart, they traded around $3 going into market close today. And if we want to go based off of market cap, they're currently trading at $1.3 billion for market cap. Now, if we look holistically at the company, this looks very small in comparison to what they're organizing underneath them as subsidiaries. And so for me, we're going to go through two different price targets that I think are going to be reasonable going through 2024. And the first one's going to be a more conservative target of $50 a share. And that would only put them at $21 billion market cap for all of their assets, which I still think is very low considering what they're dealing in. And if we look at a more bullish target, which I still think is very reasonable considering all that they're dealing with, I am looking at $100 a share minimum for them, which would still only put them at $42 billion market cap. And this is in an industry that is set to explode over the next few years. The United States in particular, especially with the government right now, is putting a strong emphasis on electric vehicles and modifying commercial vehicles to run more electrically and environmentally friendly, and a lot of different efforts for sustainability and having a reduction on the harm of animals and the environment in general are strong targets for people, not only in the government, but in the common population. And so with a largely growing industry like this that is set to rapidly explode over the next few years, and the fact that they have diversified assets set all across the industry, whether you're looking at vehicles or different maintenance of vehicles or charging stations for vehicles or anything else you want to look at in their portfolio of things that they have going on inside of their company, I think looking at $100 a share is a very reasonable target. And I'm going to be looking for them to go up to $20 to $30 within the next year alone. That's what I'm going to be looking for their future growth. And obviously time will tell. Price targets aren't always key for where stock's going to be going or how a company's performing or anything. But I think with what they're doing and how Alf Poor is playing with their different monetary assets to get a lot more underneath their guidance, I don't see how this is going to be too far off from where they're going to be sitting in the next couple of years. I hope you like my breakdown of the new updates on IDEX. Like I said, I've done a couple more previous videos on them, so I'll have the playlist linked for you on this video if you're interested in checking those out from my previous DD on some of their other holdings. And other than that, that's going to do it for me in this video today, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.